Yes. Just like that. We are on the air, buddy. Here we are. Welcome in on this Thursday. But I have to admit, something just hit me like 5 minutes ago. I just realized. I mean, this is Thursday, but we might as well call it the prediction show and the free-for-all Friday because I got to travel tomorrow. I got to travel to College Station, Texas tomorrow. So you want to, if you want to get a look at me, you better get a good look today. Take a picture. Hey, welcome in. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beaver is here because we're on the air. That's one way you know he's here. We're on the air. Otherwise, if he's not here, we're not on the air. That's the way that works. So he's here and you're here. So get on in here. You can be a part of the show. Lots of different ways to do that. You can comment on the live stream. You can text me. You can call me on the Junction phone. I'll give you those numbers coming up. Right out of the chutes as an example of how to be a part of the show on social. If you're on YouTube, looking at the stream over there, if you're on Facebook or X, formerly Twitter. Prince Hoops. Prince! What's up? Man, it is a family full of athletes. Basketball players. They finally got a football player in there. I mean, it's about time, Prince. Little man. What was it you said last year? He played center on offense and played corner on defense. That's great. He said, which rival? No, that's not what it was. It was he played center on the football team, and then he's point guard on the basketball team. It's another combination. You don't see that often. You talk about versatile. And his question here, he commented, posted it on YouTube. So see, it pops up on this one of the many screens in this studio. It pops up on one of them in this nice, neat column. Every comment that comes in on the live stream from all different platforms, all in one place. And then I can click it, and it pops up on the screen for you to see. And he said, which rivalry game outside of the SEC would you like to see? And you could use a time traveling machine to go back to the heyday. Oh, wow. Wow. So Prince, let me get this right. I know it's not a hard question. I just want to be clear. You're saying not only outside of the Southeastern Conference, which rivalry out there, head-to-head rivalry is pretty cool. But I like to see it in person. But I can also say I'd like to go back and watch it, in the 70s is what you're saying, basically. You're right? I could pick any of that? Oh, boy. See, and I have a great appreciation, Prince, for the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. I mean, I have a great appreciation for it. I really do. And back in the day, every year was one of the biggest games in the country, and Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy on ABC would always call the Michigan-Ohio State game. It was a big deal. It's great, wonderful, awesome. But for whatever reason, that didn't pull me in. It didn't pull me into saying, yeah, I would like to attend it. I don't really think I would want to attend it that bad, like here or there. What else? I got to go elsewhere? Something with Notre Dame. Who does Notre Dame, Prince, in football, who does Notre Dame consider a rival? Would it be USC, Southern Cal? Do they play each other every year? What would the internet say if you go, who is Notre Dame's football rival? What does it say? University of Southern California. That would be it for me. I would want to go back like when Montana was playing quarterback for Notre Dame. So I admired him growing up. Yeah. And watch Notre Dame play USC in South Bend, Indiana. That's my time machine outside of the SEC rivalry right there. There it is, Hoops. What's your answer? I'd love to know. It's a great question. I'd love to know what you think. Chris, see, he's on X, formerly Twitter, and he comments and he says, what is this? Minus 14.5 LUL Hail State. What does that mean? Chris, I got it. I just don't know what it means. Help me out. See, Patches and I are on the same page, and he says Army Notre Dame is what he'd want to go. He'd go back in time. He'd want to see Army Notre Dame. Grumpy texts the show right out of the chutes on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. I had the original smoked sausage flavor for breakfast this morning, along with this big old piece of toasted bread from Homemade Bread some people gave us. Friend of Annabeth gave us this. She makes bread. It's like the best bread. Makes it at home. Toast that up, slather it in honey. Eat it with some sausage. Yeah. Grumpy says, Matt, Grumpy's uneasy about making an MSU prediction, but of course, hopeful of an MSU win. But is inviting you, Neil, and Jay to Grumpy's patio for Saturday's game. Signed, Hail State. Well, we'll be glad to join you out on your patio, Grumpy. Yep. Shout out to you. David and Brandon. Yeah, he says you're talking about back in the day, Notre Dame versus USC, and O.J. Simpson playing running back for USC. That's what he'd want to go back and see. Jonathan on X. Miami, Florida State in the early 90s. There you go. That would have been a great one. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That would be a good one, too. Chris, what he meant was he's laughing at the point spread for the state game. Not just what is, if LOL stands for laughing out loud, what does LUL stand for? See, I'm an old guy. I don't know these things. I didn't realize that. He's laughing at the point spread, the fact that State is a 14.5 point underdog. So I think we know how he's going to bet his money this weekend. And then Hail State fans said when both teams are good, the backyard brawl is fantastic when it's in Morgantown. You know what's interesting about that, Hail State fan? All this sparked by a great question from Prince. By the way, Prince, thanks for the hat. I've been wearing it for 3 or 4 days in a row now. I like it. I want you to think for a second. Texas and Texas A&M. Okay, Texas and Oklahoma. Do either of those, even historically, I'm talking about for us as people in Mississippi, maybe in Alabama, in Southeastern Conference territory. Think about Texas, Texas A&M, Texas and Oklahoma. And I feel like, Hail State fan, we still have heard more about the backyard brawl and its rivalry status than we have heard about Texas and those rivals over the years. You didn't hear that much. I don't know. It was there. It was just out there. Do you agree? It's weird how beyond arm's length that always felt, the Texas stuff. Now here it is in our conference. It's just weird to me. Brad, you're right. He comments on Facebook. He said State usually plays A&M good, and they have. State has played. State has won a bunch of games against A&M since they've joined the league, and it's really given them fits, even in years where they were really good. I remember one year State got off to a bad start that year. I think it was the year they lost to South Alabama in the season opener. That same year, A&M came to start while they were ranked 4th in the country, and State whooped them. They didn't just win, they whipped them. Chris said he'd like to see that Texas and USC national championship game. Yeah, and that would be a little bit of a different discussion of individual games in your time machine. For Prince Hoops, his deal was which rivalry game outside of the SEC would you like to see, and you could use a time machine if you want to do that. Now, different sport than what we were thinking, but Nick says, give me Yankees, Dodgers in the 50s. Oh, man, can you imagine? Really, Nick, being able to watch some of those series, that would have been great. State Grad 98 says, Notre Dame's biggest rival, MSU. You're talking about Michigan State? Speaking of state, do you think the Cubs will win today? I don't know. I've kind of lost track of baseball a little bit here the last couple of weeks. Just being totally honest with you. Grumpy hit us back. He said, also, Matt, the Prince needs to restock the caps. Have not seen the cool cap you're talking about at his Canton store. Signed, Grumpy. You hear that, Prince? Better get on it. This hat, gray, maroon patch with white lettering and white rope, requested. They want it at the Canton store and said it ain't in there. I tell you the other ones I like, Grumpy, the Prince Oil hats. It's like a script, almost like the state script's got the little banner thing underneath it. They have those too. I like them. And I do like the black and gold, and of course it's in there. We got a lot of Southern Miss fans that go through there, but Prince had a black and gold one of those on one day. I was kind of jealous of that. I think that's because, growing up, I grew up in Russellville, Alabama. Okay, and that's the school colors at Russellville, black and gold. They're the Russellville Golden Tigers. I keep saying Russellville because that seems proper, but anybody that lives there says Russellville. It's like Prattville, Russellville, but the Russellville Golden Tigers. And so I've always liked black and gold. So I'm a little jealous of those Southern Miss colors, man. That black and gold looks good. J-Rock said he'd go back to Oklahoma and Nebraska in the 70s. I thought about that, but, I thought about go back, when Tom Osborne was coaching at Nebraska and maybe see some of that. But I don't know who would be considered Nebraska's big rival back in those days. I don't know enough about it. MSU 1980 commented on the country pleasing text line. By the way, that number, 885-3776. Okay, so if you're listening, you want to text the show, do it, 885-3776. He said, Matt, this morning while eating breakfast, I wondered what flavor of country pleasing Matt Wyatt was having. Well, now I know since you told us. Yeah, I do from time to time venture out and do some different things, but over the long haul, I've had more jalapeno and cheddar and more original smoked sausage flavor than really anything else they have. Yep. It's just the way it is. All right, look, like I told you, here it is Thursday, sure, but I'll be traveling to Texas A&M tomorrow. So this is the last show of the week for me. So let's hit headlines one last time.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related in the state of Mississippi, buying, refinancing, whatever. Start right there. Go to mortgagemanms.com. Headline number one, listen to this. Less than a week after losing a game 90-0, a college team in the San Francisco area is canceling upcoming games. Now, why do you need to know this? I'll tell you. Lincoln University of California. They were going to play Davenport University this weekend, but the university says we're canceling the game. Going to have to be rescheduled. Quote from the school, unfortunately, these things happen in sports. I feel bad for our student athletes as well as the Lincoln University student athletes. When you work 365 or 11 contests, it's not fair to the kids, blah, 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 blah. They lost 90-0. They're so injured they can't play a game. The reason it's impactful is because they are scheduled to be Alcorn State's homecoming opponent. Yeah, look it up. Alcorn State's homecoming opponent. Lincoln University of California. They're from the Bay Area. But they don't have enough healthy players to keep playing. Lost 90-0 last week. So it's very possible Alcorn State may have to find somebody that they can schedule for homecoming or just not have the game at all and make some other game homecoming. Keep an eye on it. Headline number two, the Big Ten is in discussions about a private capital deal that would infuse at least $2 billion into the league and its schools. That's according to a source in the media yesterday. So, some of this is above my pay grade, but what they're discussing is a 10-year extension of their grant of rights for all the schools that are in the Big Ten. That would take them through 2046. Said it would provide long-term stability in the Big Ten, and take $2 billion and start injecting it and throwing it into the coffers at all the Big Ten schools. What do you think about that? When you say private capital, what does that mean? Basically, investors, right? Yeah, that's what that means. It's almost like if you were running a business and somebody went, hey, look, you got a really good thing going. I'd like to give you a whole bunch of money for you to grow your business. And as a kickback, you give me a cut this way, that way, and you draw it up. And then to the NFL, A.J. Brown says that a recent social media post was not directed at his team, the Eagles, or at his quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Story says that yesterday, A.J. Brown took responsibility for letting his frustrations boil over Sunday. Said that his post on social media wasn't directed at anybody in the building. He declined to talk after they beat Tampa Bay 31-25 the other day. He finished with 2 catches for 7 yards. Now, he was targeted 9 times, had 2 catches, 7 yards. A little bit after the game, he posted a quote from the Bible. And this, it said, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw, don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. No, but that was right after the game. That was not anything to do with the fact that he had 2 catches for 7 yards. Sure. Mm-hmm. Buying that one. And if you're buying it, I'd like to show you some of that oceanfront property over there in 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷 County. And then last headline here, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by 𝐿uminate Bank. Dynasties are over for the bigger SEC schools, according to Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin said, quote, dynasties are over in the SEC. And the context was he was talking about adding Oklahoma and Texas into the league and deciding to play 9 conference games in the SEC. Of course, they're coming off that big win over LSU. They're 5-0. Kiffin said that name, image, and likeness rules and the transfer portal have leveled the playing field in the 16-team SEC, and it's making it harder for top programs to stay on top. He went on to say, what do you think about this? And then we'll move on. He went on to say this, and here it is. SEC programs are no longer going to be able to stockpile all the talent the way that former Alabama coach Nick Saban did, the way that Georgia coach Kirby Smart did. Here's a quote from Kiffin yesterday. In my opinion, Alabama with Coach Saban and then Kirby at Georgia, where they had those rosters year in, year out, there'd be a bunch of wins by 30 points in the conference. Those days are done. And those are your headlines. Brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by 𝐿uminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Patches says Kiffin is spot on. You know, there's one... You can, if you choose, you can have whatever issue you want to have with Kiffin. I'll tell you one issue I don't have with him is he'll just come right out and say it. He's really the one coach who year after year after year, when it comes to the real hard line you got to draw on what this name, image, and likeness, quote unquote, stuff is in the transfer. He's the one coach who'll just come right out and say it. He does not hesitate to say it. They still do what they have to do at Ole Miss. And, they pay them and commit dollars to pay players to come play for them just like everybody else does. and then they figure out a way to make it work. But he's the one guy who'll just walk right out on the plank and say, hey, here's what it is. And I agree with you, Patches. I think he's right. I think he's exactly right. QB1 texted the show, and he said, I hate to say it, but Kiffin is right. And he says it's why X's and O's matter more than ever now. Well, yeah, think about it, QB1. And depth, X's and O's and depth, but not the way depth used to matter. This is what I mean. What he's talking about, the way Nick Saban stockpiled and built the roster in a way that nobody else could. They always had more depth than everybody they played, right? Now it's depth week to week. How many in your 3 deep do you have healthy this week? Because frankly, here's another thing that I guarantee you Kiffin would own up to. Players that get a little bit hurt, you're paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some instances more than that. And there's pressure on them you get that procedure done, you get that pin put in, and you sew it up and tape it up because you're playing this week. It's more of that going on too. Interesting times that we are living in. I'm Matt in the Bureau, just getting started. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true.
1059 and coming to you worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Turn my mic on. Back with you in the Bureau. The Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Missouri. Hey, let's see. Here you go. Fight song of the day. Let's see if anybody knows what this is. Anybody know what that one is? Anyway. Boy, that didn't take long. Blair from Brandon nailed it. Let's see if anybody, before I call it out, Blair, you got it, but I'm going to see if anybody else does. He was first right out of the chute. Ba-da. There's your first clue right there. If you let that one play long enough, you get a real good clue. Kind of catchy, isn't it? They're playing this weekend. All right, you're right, Blair. That's Florida. That's the Florida Gators fight song. Florida hosting Texas. You know, all right, so for me, growing up, I'm a junior high school kid. Early mid-90s. And so you had Spurrier at Florida. Throwing it all over the field. Of course, Shane, and then, some of the others, Terry Dean was in there, and then Werfel comes along. And so, Shane Matthews, by the way. Mississippi kid. And they were on TV all the time. And so there was no internet back then. So, you were really, any game that came on, you were really glued to it. And they scored all the time. And it's like almost by default, I used to really easily recognize the Florida fight song. And then it kind of went away. And then along comes Tebow, Urban Meyer, and then Chris Leak and Tebow and them. And then we all learned the Florida fight song all over again because it was just, they were constantly scoring. Good guess, Blair. Good job. Nailed it right away. Let me get caught up here, and then we'll start looking at some of these games, maybe pick them. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona says, I'd like to have seen this Territorial Cup out here, Arizona versus Arizona State, back before 5 million people lived down here and their football fields were surrounded by open desert mountains. That does sound pretty cool, actually. Unnamed texter, Matt, widely known, but Clayton Kershaw was Matt Stafford's center in high school. I had a buddy start on that line at Ole Miss and was the point guard at East Rankin Academy. Ronnie from Raymond. Wow. Small world, Ronnie. Boy, you talk about pumping out some athletes too, huh? Some of those schools in Texas have absolutely done it. Okay, yeah, J-Rock, regarding the rivalry thing, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Back in the old days, they were both in the Big 8 in the 70s, didn't like each other. Tom Osborne versus Barry Switzer. Okay. Nebraska, Oklahoma, big rivalry. That would be cool too. It's just, out of nowhere, Prince with a great question today. And by the way, y'all call me On the Junction phone line, speaking of Prince Oil Company, they've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Go inside and get some fuel for your belly at the Junction Deli. 897-1059. And his question was a rivalry game outside of the SEC that you would like to see, and you can get in your time machine if you want to. And so I went Notre Dame USC. I mean, in basketball, it's clear. Like everybody's answer is Duke, North Carolina, basketball. Is there even any other answer in basketball? Unnamed texter. I hope State can pull the upset. Yeah, me too. I'd love to see them do it. Yeah, I was. Oceanfront property in Itawamba County. Real unnamed says, you talking about the 10-time ocean? Yep. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. By the way, now there's some really beautiful places on the water in Itawamba County. And below there too in Monroe County. Let's see, Blair from Brandon. He says he recognizes the Florida fight song from NCAA 11. He says if you played with or against Tebow, all you heard was that dadgum song. he was a cheat code on the video game. That's funny. All right, Jared on Facebook regarding the story of A.J. Brown. He said he didn't tweet that regarding his team, even though after he had 2 catches for 7 yards, he immediately put some on Twitter about, hey, if they don't like you, leave. No. Jared says, I don't pay attention to anything about A.J. Brown. I got all I needed when the mayor of Starkville brought him up during a baseball championship celebration. Yes. I mean, only us, Jared. We're the only place that stuff happens. That was so silly. I mean, ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. All you could do, what else you can do? All you can do is laugh. All right, and then we're on to injuries here. Hale State fan said, any injury updates on Reese, Smith, Thompson, and the other guy that went out Saturday? Sven says Reese is out. Here's what happened yesterday on the availability chart that came out on Wednesday. It said that Brennan Thompson was probable. It said that Albert Reese was questionable. It said that Isaac Smith was questionable. The 2 that were questionable for this weekend were Reese and Isaac Smith. And those 2 are 2 big deals. Isaac Smith is the best football player on your whole team. So, it's a catch-22. You need him. You feel like you need him to beat A&M in their building. But you really need him to play a bunch more football games for you, if at all possible. And Reese, the guy who you recruited out of high school, has been around forever and is sort of your foundation in your offensive line. And so he's questionable too. But it sounded like Thompson and Gillette are probable for the weekend. Yeah, probable. Why, Jared, why'd you say this? Jared said, go start a Fortune 500 company, go Gators. Why did you say that, though? Like, I missed the connection there. I miss a lot of things. I'm missing more and more. Are y'all realizing that? Hale State fan says, I think Reese was the most important. And then he says, Aggies should not have a problem with us. Well, hey, all right, over to the Junction phone line. That's Junction Delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi for 60 years. I'm sorry, since 1960. That's more than 60 years, isn't it? It's about close. It's a little over 60 years. Since 1960. Fuel in your tank, go inside, fuel in your belly at the Junction Deli. On line 1, it's Terrence. Thanks for calling, Terrence. What's up?
Hey, man, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing great.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Sorry I hadn't called in a minute. Been busy with little chores and things around the house, but
No
got a
problem.
little time to talk with you for a minute. I got a question for you. Given that State's playing Texas A&M on Saturday, were you more encouraged by the loss to Tennessee more so than disappointed?
That's a good question. I was more disappointed than anything. But there was a little bit of encouragement, that they played as well as they did. But I really am trying to talk myself out of any moral victory stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I watched the game, and I was actually more encouraged by the way that they played. And I know there are no moral victories in football,
Sure.
but the way that they played and having a chance, it was just having the chance to even try to even win the game. If I'm a State fan, I'm more encouraged.
Yeah.
I'm still disappointed, but I'm actually more encouraged by the way that they played.
And I see that for sure. And I think most people have recognized that. It was almost validation that beating Arizona State was not a fluke.
Right. To my Ole Miss fans, and I say this as an Ole Miss grad, please pump your brakes. Please pump your brakes. I know the win over LSU was a great win, but pump your brakes about this undefeated talk. That's not going to happen. I've heard a lot of my Ole Miss friends and frat brothers thinking they finna go undefeated. Newsflash, it's not going to happen. Let's concentrate on making the 12-team playoff. Don't worry about an undefeated season because that's not going to happen. So pump your brakes.
Pump your brakes. That's good stuff.
Pump your brakes. But, man, I'm not going to hold you. Me and my wife, we're finna get ready to go down to Alcorn.
Okay.
This is our first home game this season, and it's about time.
About time. Well, y'all enjoy it. Be safe on the road, Terrence. Thanks for calling.
Okay, we'll do. Have a good one.
You too. Did y'all hear that, Ole Miss fans? Pump your brakes. Terrence said, pump your brakes. Undefeated stuff, it's not happening, he says. What do you think? All right. Rolling along. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Well, it's my fault. It is totally and utterly my fault. 42 minutes into the show, and I have yet to disturb Beaver over there and force him to answer my silly questions. Took way too long. And most people tune into the show for that anyway. Hey, B.
Here we go again.
Beaver, this is so appropriate because that little thought bubble over your head that you went ahead and expressed out loud right there, that's kind of what that was. You realize that, don't you?
The thought bubble?
Mm-hmm. That was the thought bubble. But since it's radio, we have to go ahead and voice it. And you had a good comic strip or cartoon, you had a bubble over your head, and inside of it, it went without, the character on the comic strip of Beaver didn't open his mouth, but the thought bubble said, here we go again. B, have you ever been a comic strip fan?
Not really. I used to look at them, when they were in the paper, back when the paper here was an actual paper.
Right.
I don't know what's in there these days.
Yeah, no, I haven't looked at it in so long either. But you used to look at the comics in the newspaper?
Yeah.
So what did you have back then? You had what? Garfield?
Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
That was a usual. The Far Side.
Uh-huh. Yep. And of course, Beaver, you had, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You always had Peanuts. Every day of your kid life up until early 2000, Beaver, every day, including Sundays, there was a Peanuts comic strip in a paper. I'm telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
Guess what, B? Today, October the 2nd, is the anniversary of when all that started. The very first Peanuts comic strip to ever appear in a paper, this was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, was on October the 2nd, 1950. Exactly 75 years ago today. How about that? So like, hey, Beef, like you said, I don't know if they're still in there or not. I haven't looked. But anyway, it did happen. It all started 75 years ago today. Yeah. So let me bounce this off of you. I've spoken recently on what I think about Charles Schulz, the man who created that whole thing. Some of those thoughts. Beef, what do you think about Peanuts and Charlie Brown and Linus and Lucy and all that? Snoopy.
It's iconic. I never really kept up. I admitted to you I've never seen The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Okay.
I never watched the stuff, but it's iconic. Charles Schulz. That's the only word I can come up with. Mm-hmm. It is iconic because you may not keep up with things.
Yeah.
But some things you have to recognize their place in history.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
That's one of them. Yeah. No doubt about it. Well said. Well said, B. Were you ever have you ever thought about the fact that so it was the most popular comic strip in the world. He made more money in his career as a cartoon artist than anybody like in the history of it. And I don't know this fact, but then I would automatically assume all the outside merchandising too that would have been associated with what he created, Beaver. So you think about back in the day, let's say, Beaver, when you were in high school in the 90s, and if you watched Monday Night Football, they had the blimp, right? Well,
Goodyear blimp.
Right. Well, who was on the side of the blimp? They had Snoopy on it. On one of those blimps.
So Snoopy was the MetLife blimp.
Yes, that's right. That's right, MetLife. So you had that, all the outside merchandises. Hey, Beaver, I think we discussed this one time. Remember that Snoopy snow cone machine maker?
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Did you have one of those?
Oh. I don't think I ever got one. I remember wanting it, though. I wanted it.
Okay, you wanted it. And because you couldn't turn on your television without it being advertised, smacked right in your face at some point. And it looked so good, didn't it? These kids like enjoying their nice little snow cones that Snoopy made for them. There's no telling how, what the royalties and stuff for that kind of thing were. And anyway, my point is all of that success, Beav, and there's two things about it. Number one, never since the first day they ever did anything, never in 75 years, a single solitary vulgar or trashy joke of any kind. None. And then two, how come I couldn't say vulgar? That was weird. But two, all of it was predicated on Charlie Brown, who had kind of a terrible life. It was the butt of all the jokes. Have you noticed that? Never kicked the football. The girls didn't like him. I mean, it was all about a kid his constant disasters. And the whole world found it hilarious. Now, do you not see the irony in that?
Mm-hmm. We enjoyed this cartoon misery.
We did. We did. As a matter of fact, I think the first ever, and the way he drew the characters for the Peanuts strip when it started 75 years ago today, they looked a lot different back then. But the first one I think that was in the paper was the one where these two kids are like sitting on the bench at school outside, and Charlie Brown's walking by, and one kid goes, "Here comes Charlie Brown, good old Charlie Brown." And then the next one, there he is, good old Charlie Brown. And Charlie Brown goes by, and the kid goes, "Oh, how I hate him." I mean, that was the first one. Is the kid, they hate him. And then the rest is history, as they say. But anyway, tip of the cap to let's see. And if I'm going, so on the 75th anniversary of the appearance, the first appearance of the strip, comic strip, I will give you my top 3 favorite Peanuts characters. Number 1, Linus. Number 2, Charlie Brown. I think it's only fitting that he's not number 1. And number 3 for me will have to be Woodstock, the bird. That's my top 3. So happy anniversary, Peanuts and good old Charlie Brown. Jason out in Flagstaff, Arizona says, we need a Junction Deli here, very specifically at the Peak View Country Store across the street from my house. Well, why not expand into Arizona, Prince? You can make Jason the manager. He says, P.S., that Beaver Lake area on the waterway up the old North Road on Tishomingo-Itawamba County line is as pretty as it gets. You ain't kidding, man. Gorgeous up there. Beautiful. I agree with you, Jason. It's beautiful. Earl in Madison says, Matt, I'm older than you, and once a year, I still watch The Great Pumpkin with my wife, of course. Yeah, at least once a year, you got to cue that thing up, don't you? Now, Gino says, I've got one of those Snoopy snow cone machines, never opened, never used, in the box. And that has to be a collector's item. You know, you just hang on to it, pass it down generations. At some point, it'd be worth something, huh? Maybe it's worth something now. Take it to the Antiques Roadshow. It's another show I really like. Denzel goes, could we say that Charlie Brown is the first published example of nice guys finishing last? Well, yeah. And I think that probably one of the reasons, Denzel, I mean, I'm no Freud, but probably one of the reasons it resonated with me and you and everybody else is we all feel like from time to time we got bad luck, right? And if you've ever felt that way, you almost get a kick out of seeing somebody else have some bad luck every now and then. Right? I mean, that's probably what it's talking about. Hale State fans said that Snoopy's underrated. Yeah, Snoopy's great. Snoopy is great. And I should update you on this. We got a lot of smart folks and plugged in folks who listen to this show in all parts of the world. Mr. Sip said, when does the final injury report come out? Sven over in Berlin, Germany, let him know that the final report is going to come out today. And hopefully we can get an update on a guy like Isaac Smith and Ron Manning maybe. So, yeah, we'll see if we get those updates and when we get them today. Sven, thanks for the info. All right. Hour 1 is in the books. And so hour 2, when we come back, start hour 2, we'll start looking at these games. We'll put some scores next to them and see how we do. See how I do. Stick around. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on, get it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
WRKS Pickens Jackson. We are good to go. With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt. Here we go. Hour number 2 of the show, off and running with you. Staying connected to you because of C Spire. The number 1 network in Mississippi is C Spire. Customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. Matt Beaver is here. I got y'all here. If you're here, that's the most important thing. That and, of course, this hot coffee that I'm pouring into my mug from High Point Roasters. High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com. Get your coffee there. They'll deliver it to you. It's really good. Make your mailbox smell good. And big 1-pound bags. You're not going to run out anytime soon. And you can choose, to have it ground or whole bean. And you get single origin roasts and beans from all over the world, or, different blends. And so all of that online. Just go to their website. Go to highpointroasters.com. I really, really enjoy their coffee. So what else can I say? Country Pleasing text line. Y'all feel free to text me on the Country Pleasing Sausage text line. As I told you, I am in on a package of the original smoked sausage flavor. I'm eating a little bit of that every morning. I got some green onion down there. I started on it. I haven't finished it. I have another new package of the bun-sized links. It is pineapple and pork for like making sausage dogs. I need to go ahead and bust that out. Anyway, the number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. On the Country Pleasing text line, Mailman David, in honor of the 75th anniversary of the very first ever Peanuts comic strip. It popped up in a newspaper on this day, October the 2nd, 1950. David sent me that picture of 2 of those Peanuts kids dressed up in their Halloween costumes, and Charlie Brown holding up his rock. Says, I got a rock. I got a chocolate bar. I got a rock. He just kept getting rocks. Kip texted the show, and he says, Matt, as an LSU fan, I find it painfully funny that LSU had an elite offense the last 3 years just while waiting for a good defense. And now that they have a good defense, the offense is in a toilet. I hate Ole Miss. From Kip. Kip hates Ole Miss, and it's painfully funny that all they were doing was waiting on a defense, and now they don't have one. No, waiting on an offense. No, waiting on a defense. Now they have one, now they don't have offense. I got it mixed up. Yeah, you got to put it all together at once. And it's a long year. It's just one loss. Anything can happen. LSU not removed from all of the discussions. One loss doesn't remove you. I guess maybe that's the great thing about a 12-team playoff. Your season goes on. You still got things to play for, right? All right. Let's do this, too. Because I need to tell you the number. If you want to call the show, you can call me. I'd love for you to. On the Junction phone line, Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi, fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling central Mississippi since 1960. So you pull up at the pump, fuel in your gas tank, go inside and fuel in your belly from the Junction Deli. 897-1059. That's the number to call the Junction phone. 897-1059. We go to the phones where on line 1 I've got... Okay, on line 1 I got Wayne hanging on. What's up, Wayne? Thanks for calling.
I ain't much, man. Trying to go over there and pick up my dang taxes. I have to get me a little bit of an extension.
Well...
Then I had a car wreck and all this good stuff. The guy hit and run on me down there about Sisson Academy.
Yeah, you told us about that.
But it's going. And I was talking to my sister over in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That COVID running wild over there and running wild over here.
Did you say COVID?
Yes, I got some friends over there that wished their guards, and another friend went over and they wouldn't let them in because they got it over there.
Uh-oh. Well, I hate that.
I've never had it that I know of.
Yeah. I kind of,
I know.
I think, which means you haven't had it. I've had it, I guess, twice, and I'm pretty sure if you had it, you'd know. It's like having the flu.
So my niece's husband, Gary, he went over to England, and I think he brought it back with him because she got it.
She's got it right now?
Yes, sir. She's about over it now.
Okay.
But when my mother passed away, my sister got it, and my uncle's stepdaughter, Linda, got it, lived down in Hattiesburg. She never had been vaccinated. And it whipped her butt. I ain't never had it, but that I know of. I took a friend down to New Orleans before the Southwest flying out of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to New York, she had it. But I've never had it that I know of.
That you know of, yeah. Okay. What else is going on?
Oh, man, there ain't much. Just trying to get these taxes. Wish I could get my car in the shop.
Yeah.
Well, the Braves, they finally got knocked out of it. But
Yeah, and they're going to get a new manager. Did you see where? I don't know. Did he retire or did they fire him?
Well, he just moved. They didn't fire him. He just moved up in the.
I got you.
He just moved up into the front office.
Gotcha.
He's got grandyoungers. He wanted to go watch play.
Okay.
I hope Ron Washington. They ain't gonna hire him back at the Angels. I hope they bring him back. And Eric Young, let them be the third base and the first base coach.
Yeah. Right.
I'd like to see hire Walt Weiss or that Ross guy that used to coach the Cubs.
Yeah,
Man,
David Ross.
Cubs.
Mm-hmm. David Ross. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be great.
But like I said, they're gonna be all right. He has so many dead gum injuries. I don't know where they're gonna sign the Big Bear back. I figure they're gonna find somebody else.
Yeah, maybe.
I know in Galatians.
Wayne.
All right, brother. Well, y'all take care. When I give me some more serve, I'll be running y'all down.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Call me anytime. Good to hear from Wayne. A little bit of Wayne's World. What's going on with Wayne? Now let's go over to line 2 of the Junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Rooster hanging on line 2. Thanks for being patient. Rooster, what's up?
Hey, thank you. Now, I want to give the listening audience a shot at the Rooster lock. I've been trying to call all week, but
all right.
Better get it in today because you're on the road to A&M, right?
Yes, got to travel tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the lock is Diego Pavia goes down. Revenge from last year. That dude hit 16 out of 20 last year, and they scored 40 points on Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time, no.
You don't think so?
The spread is 10.5, so that's the lock.
Okay.
Alabama and Vanderbilt. What he's talking about COVID-19, that sounds like a good number. Alabama by 19.
Okay.
And he mentioned baseball, and listen, the hero last night was Bednar. He got the save. But it wasn't Will. It was Will's brother.
Right.
So I hadn't been following him, but the Yankees pulled it out last night. So that's interesting. But I want to get in, let me quit rambling, get in the I hit on 90%. So the lock is Bama. It looks like maybe Bama is back. Vanderbilt may not win another game until they play Kentucky. I mean, they're undefeated, but they're going to get a rough schedule. I can't pick on Hugh Freeze and Auburn because they don't play. They're idle.
Yep.
But, hey, the next game coming up is Georgia. Hey, they'll be 0-3.
Yeah.
So
hey, what do you think about what do you think about Texas at Florida tomorrow? I mean Saturday.
Oh, that's too many unknowns on that.
Okay.
Too many unknowns. I don't want to touch that.
Okay. All right.
I go for the sure things,
Sure thing. Alabama.
I bet
by at least 11.
Yeah, the sure thing is I bet the Chiefs. I got a 6-point bump. They just got to win the game. They got to win by 4. That's it.
Okay.
There ain't no way they're losing that game. I mean, that guy last year made them look ridiculous. So they're going to be out for revenge. They got back on Georgia, and they're back on track. It looks like. So the Vanderbilt Cinderella story is coming to an end Saturday, no question.
Yeah. Okay.
It may be a blowout. We'll see.
We will see. I think.
Yeah, and I don't want to touch A&M and Mississippi State either. No, it's a hope for the best,
Yeah.
How many games have we lost in a row? SEC? 13?
SEC. Yeah, it's been a bunch. Because didn't win one last year. So.
The last victory was, Arkansas, that 7-3 thing. That was it.
That's a good way to describe it, too. That 7-3 thing. Because that was hard to watch. Even though it was a win for State, it was hard to watch that year.
Absolutely. You kept them all, but nothing ever happened. Although the score was great. Sure. I'll take a 4-point win, but 7-3.
Okay, and that's interesting. You said, all right, so you say Alabama's going to whip Vanderbilt this weekend, and then you say Vandy may not win another game until Kentucky, which would mean hosting LSU, hosting Missouri, travel to Texas, and then host Auburn before hosting Kentucky in late November.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope they beat Auburn. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like Kentucky, the only thing on their schedule.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. I want them to beat Auburn, obviously. But no, we'll see.
All right.
Strange things. But that's a lot.
Okay.
And 10, I think it's 10.5 is the spread.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's a good bet.
Got it. Thanks, Rooster.
Be safe on the highway.
All right. Will do, man. Appreciate you. Call anytime. So the lock of the week is Alabama hosting Vanderbilt. He said Alabama's a 10.5-point favorite. Blair's going against that. He's on the Country Pleasing text line. He says Vandy will walk it off with a 52-yarder as the clock expires. Man, how specific. Right down to the yardage. He goes, Texas 17, Florida 13. Texas is, in fact, still not bad. But they'll win, right? You're saying they'll win in a low-scoring game at Florida. All right. Denzel. Okay, so this is what State's wearing for the game. He got a picture of what State's wearing for the game. The white helmets, white jerseys, maroon breeches. All right. J-Rock sent me a picture of a Butterfinger ice cream bar. Had one of these today for dessert. Made me forget about what I had for lunch. Things were great. Butterfinger ice cream bar. Was I aware of those? I certainly love the ice cream Snickers. They're too good, in fact. It's hard to have just one. But an ice cream Butterfinger, that sounds great. I bet it is good. All right, look, let me put some scores on it. You ready? You ready? Here we go. I'm going to pick. Should I even pick State and A&M? Man, I'm so tempted to pick an upset. The problem is that, the worry of who's hurt and who's not. How are you going to go win a game like that without an Isaac Smith if he can't play? I don't know that he can't, but they just said he was questionable. Reese, what if he can't play? Well, how are you going to win a game without him? My heart's all tied up in it, too, when we're talking about State. Yeah, I think that's what, I haven't done this yet, but this is exactly what I was thinking, Sven. I think I agree with you. I think I'm going to agree with Sven that it's a field goal difference, that Kyle Ferry is the reason State wins the ball game this week by a field goal, whether it's hitting it late or something. He put 27-24. And I think that's about right. I'm not agreeing just to agree, but I feel kind of the same way about it. So I'm just going to agree with you on that one. Mr. Sip on YouTube says 35-17. But that's how I feel. Like I was talking about last week, people that were predicting some of the stuff they were predicting about Tennessee games. You put up 35 and hold them to 17 in their own building. Color me impressed. But I guess stranger things have happened. Georgia coming off a loss to Alabama. Good and well they're going to beat the tar out of Kentucky. So I'll say Georgia 31, Kentucky 9. Some weird score like that. Texas and Florida. Let me go Texas to win. 17-14. 17-14, Texas over Florida. Vandy and Bama. When's the last time we said, hey, that's one of the biggest games in the country this week? Vandy at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, I think Alabama will win it, but I think it's going to be a real struggle. I do not think that I don't the line deal or whatever. I think and whether or not he was joking, Rooster said 19 points. No, I'm going to go. I think it'll be much closer than that. I think it will be high scoring. So I'll go 34-31 Alabama. Close game, 3-point deal. 34-31 Alabama. And we're not fooling around with Oklahoma and Kent State because that's just a whatever. That's a walk-through scrimmage for SEC team playing those guys. Okay, let's go top 25s. Top 25. You have – no, that's not right. Hang on. All right, here we go. Do you want to do – we got Michigan State, Nebraska. But I don't care about these others. Ohio State, Minnesota, whatever. Michigan and Wisconsin, whatever. Who's a big one? Miami and Florida State. So let's do that one. Miami at Florida State, Tallahassee, Florida. So they have Miami favored on the road. Florida State coming off upset. Go back home, play a good team in Miami. Let's go Florida State in the upset. I'll pick Florida State to beat Miami 28-17. Florida State over Miami 28-17. There we go. I wrote them down. Now we can come back next week and see how wrong I was. Let's see. Who agrees, who disagrees? Sven says Miami has the best offensive line with 2 top 10 draft picks. He's going Miami 44, Florida State 17. He also picked Vandy to beat Alabama 30-20. He reminded me that Texas has the 114th ranked offense in the country. And so he has them losing to Florida 20-17. And he, like me, believes that Georgia will whip up on Kentucky. He had it 30-17 Georgia there at home. When did I pick it? 31-9. So we're kind of, that one we agree on also. Denzel, Texas shows, is coming off an emotional loss at home. No Albert Reese. First SEC road game. Aggies are hot. He's picking the Aggies 34-23. So nice 2-score or 11-point-ish. Somewhere between 10 points and 2 touchdown win for Texas A&M. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona says, dang it, I was wanting to see that Vandy's about to get a reality check, but Rooster saying it scares me. Law of averages and whatnot. Yeah, who was it again? So that, and I'm going to look at the actual dates this time, so because everybody's getting 2 open dates. Or bye weeks, or whatever you want to call it, due to the schedule starting in August. So this weekend they go to Alabama, and then they get an off week. So they do get a week off after this Alabama game before hosting LSU on the 18th of October, then hosting Missouri the next week, then traveling to Texas on November 1st, back home to host Auburn in Nashville. That's the 4-game stretch after the Alabama game in the open date. A 4-game stretch with no breaks. Home LSU, home Missouri, road Texas, home Auburn. But then they have their second off week before the last 2 games. So basically the 3rd week of November they're off. And they go, so next to last game, they host Kentucky. And then the final, they travel to Tennessee and Knoxville. And yeah, so, I mean, you could absolutely see reality check kicking in, especially if they lose this weekend. Blair from Brandon went with Georgia over Kentucky 52-10, like good old-fashioned woodshed. He got Texas A&M beating State 31-23. Crucial turnover is going to cost the Dogs, he says. And then he has the bye week beating Auburn 47-10. Unlike Rooster, you can pick on Hugh Freeze and Auburn even though they're off, right? Right, Blair? All right, hour 2 of the show here, rolling along. Get your picks in here. I wonder what you think for the weekend. I'm Matt. In the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come Come on, Vic. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Blair from Brandon sent me a picture and said, ask Jason in Flagstaff if this is him. This is from 2021. I've always wanted to know. So it was an Arizona baseball game, one of those games out there at the University of Arizona. And the guy's wearing an Arizona hat with a Mississippi State jersey on. I don't know. I can't tell from the picture if that's Jason or not. I have to ask him if he could claim it. 2021, what was it, regional or super regional, Blair? Ole Miss at Arizona. Isn't that right? Don't I have that right? Or is that state out there? I can't remember. It's all running together. All I know is that's where it is, Arizona. I can tell by the other fans. And there's a guy with an Arizona hat and a Mississippi State jersey on. So I don't know if that was Jason or not. I don't know. Thanks for this. Sven said, Matt, do me a favor. If you see Neil Price in College Station, say hello and tell him that he really is heard worldwide, even over here in Germany. Well, I absolutely will see him, and I will absolutely pass it along. Glad to do that. All right, speaking of, on the all-new Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. On line one, Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. What's up, Jason?
Nothing much. I got a couple of things. One, you misunderstood my text about the law of averages thing. Mr. Rooster was the guy a couple of weeks ago that was saying that UAB was going to hang with Tennessee. Because of law of averages.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I was kind of poking fun at that.
Gotcha. Okay.
The other thing is, I texted this to you a couple of times the other day when my phone wasn't working. But I'm Vandy is getting ridiculously overhyped because of that South Carolina game.
Okay.
What was it? It was 31-7, I think. But what people are missing is that was a 14-7 game, and South Carolina was driving before their quarterback got hurt. And as soon as he got hurt, it was 3 and out the rest of the game, pretty much for South Carolina. So that had a whole lot to do with why that game got lopsided.
And so if we were to look at parallels, LSU was getting a ton of credit for going to Clemson and winning, when it turns out Clemson's really not that good. And that was kind of an ugly game. And then as soon as they went on the road to play a good team in their stadium, LSU loses last week to Ole Miss. And you're saying we've got a similar thing going on here with Vandy.
I think so. Don't get me wrong. Vandy is a whole lot better than Vandy usually is.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. But they are not a top 15 team as far as I can tell. They might end up being by the end of the year, but I wouldn't give it to them based on that South Carolina game.
Okay.
They knocked that quarterback out, and it was a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and here's the thing about it too, Jason. If you take this conversation one step further, here's Vandy sitting there at 5-0, where they played South Carolina. They could go to Tuscaloosa, lose this week, and we still don't really know a whole lot. Like there's you could play well and still lose in Tuscaloosa, you know?
Yeah, and and the other thing while I'm sitting here thinking about it, they beat Virginia Tech really bad too.
They did,
at
right?
the beginning of the year, Vandy did.
Yep.
And now you look up, and that guy, they've already fired their coach.
Fired him, and that's right. That's it. So you kind of, whether they are or aren't any good, Jason, like we were talking about yesterday, we still don't really know. I mean, we're a month into the year. Here's Vandy has played all of its non-conferences. Lots of teams. Very few teams have played multiple good teams a month into the year. We still don't know a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're saying. It also backs up the idea of how silly the polls that we have preseason and even this time of year are. I mean,
the polls. Don't get me started on the polls. How they dropped Arizona State clean out after they lost in Starkville, and all they've done is win since, and they're just now ranked 25th, and the state's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, right.
So they're stupid. I'll get off here and listen. Y'all have a good day.
You too, Jason. Thanks for the call. It was almost like Jason wanted to get out of here before he really did get going on the polls. Hey, now this is a neat story. Sven, who commented earlier about saying hello to Neil Price, let him know that they're listening in Germany. Sven said that he met Jim Ellis in 2015 at the Dude, and he couldn't believe that he had a German State fan running around there. How about that? Now, that's pretty cool. I bet. Was that the last trip, Sven? So 10 years ago? We got to get you back. When was that? 2015? Was that pre-New Dude? When did they open the New Dude? See, you talk about not remembering stuff. There's another example of it. I just don't remember. When did they open the New Dude? I should know that. Let me see if I can get it right. Was it 18, 19? Yes, it was the old Dude. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, we got to get you over here to see the New Dude. Somehow, some way. 17 is when they opened it. Okay, so you missed it by a couple of years. Gotcha. The schedule, all right, let's see. You will have college football tonight. You got Sam Houston and New Mexico State. By the way, New Mexico State, that's where Diego Pavia came from, the Vanderbilt quarterback, right? Regretfully, I get New Mexico and New Mexico State sometimes mixed up. New Mexico State, yes. So the team that's playing tonight on television at home against Sam Houston is where Diego Pavia started his D1 college career, because he was in JUCO before that. And Jerry Kill was the head coach at New Mexico State then. And he's a really good football coach and very highly thought of. And he was doing a heck of a job there at New Mexico State. And if you go back a few years before Pavia transferred to Vanderbilt, they beat Auburn with Pavia at QB. Let's see. So I'm looking at 2023. Yeah, 2023 at Auburn. It was in November. Pavia and New Mexico State, they had a heck of a year that year. What was their record? They finished with 10 wins that year. Won at Auburn 31-10. And I remember watching that, going, man, that kid is good. Like, it's not, that doesn't look fluky or flukish to me. Is whoever this New Mexico State quarterback is, like, Auburn can't do anything with him. He's really good. And then I look up, and Kill retires and Pavia transfers to Vandy. And I'm not doing an I told you so, but I remember thinking then, man, look, that kid can play. And then you see last year what they did. But you could see it before then. And if you wanted to, just for fun, go back and see what I'm talking about. It's on YouTube, 2023 New Mexico State at Auburn. And you can see, watch just a little bit of it. You'll be like, yep. He was good then too. He just had that look of a guy that he makes everybody around him better. The whole thing is just better. He's just that kind of player. So New Mexico State on TV tonight, hosting Sam Houston, CBS Sports Network, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, you do have Friday college football if you're interested in that. Delaware hosts Western Kentucky tomorrow. South Florida hosts Charlotte. New Mexico goes to San Jose State. West Virginia at BYU. Good old-fashioned Big 12 clash. 9:30 tomorrow night, Central Time on the acronym. BYU hosting West Virginia. And then tomorrow night, Colorado State at San Diego State. Other stuff, I hit on it a little bit ago. Other things that you might or might not be interested in. Saturday at 11, 1-3 Clemson. They're 1-3 and 0-2 in the ACC. They go to North Carolina and Bill Belichick, who's 2-2. This will be Bill Belichick's first conference game in the ACC. Belichick's got him at 2-2. Of course, they got blown out by TCU. Then they beat Charlotte and Richmond. And then lost badly to UCF last week. So in comes Clemson. I think Clemson is actually a big favorite in that one. That'll be at 11 a.m. Saturday. Dabo and Clemson 1-3 at Bill Belichick in North Carolina 2-2. UAB over in Birmingham. They're going to host Army at 11 on Saturday. That's pretty interesting. Oklahoma State and their interim situation is going to Arizona Saturday afternoon, and Arizona's going to most likely break out the mops on them, mop up the floor with them. All right. A little bit of time left with you when we come back. I'm Matt. Stick around.
We'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia blend. All right, back with you. I'm Matt. A little bit of time left here on the show today. This will be it for the week. I'm traveling tomorrow. Got to get to College Station, Texas. Made that drive before. It's not that bad. Could be worse. But travel tomorrow. So a little bit of time left with you here on the radio today. Other games that jump out. Man, how bad is Penn State going to beat UCLA in the Rose Bowl Saturday? I mean, it'll be whatever they want it to be, won't it? Let's see. Notre Dame's hosting Boise. Boise State's 3-1. I saw where Boise State beat App State last week. Appalachian State beat them pretty bad, 47-14. They won at Air Force a few weeks ago, 49-37. Eastern Washington, and then at South Florida was their loss to begin the year. It was kind of a blowout. Kind of got South Florida going. And this is Notre Dame after just, making short work of Arkansas, who turns around and, they scored 42 in the first half, turned right around and fired their coach at Arkansas. That's what they thought of that performance. And so Notre Dame moves to 2-2, and then they come back home to South Bend to host Boise. And I don't know. How do you feel about it? Will that be a good game? It could be. I think it could be. Nebraska and Michigan State, they are both 3-1. They are both 0-1 in their conference. So somebody's getting a conference win. That's at 3 on Saturday. Michigan State at Nebraska. Number 1, Ohio State's hosting Minnesota, whatever. Colorado at TCU, 6:30 Saturday night on Fox. Colorado at TCU. Probably go TCU there by probably a couple of touchdowns. Isn't that how you feel about it? Kansas at UCF could be a good ball game Saturday night, 6:30 on the Deuce. Yeah. UCF coming off blowout win over North Carolina. I don't know that it necessarily tells you a whole lot. Well, I guess that was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago because North Carolina has had an open date before getting ready to host Clemson here this coming weekend. Last week, so UCF, after they beat North Carolina, that would put them at 3-0. They then went on the road to Kansas State and lost by 2 touchdowns up there, 34-20. So that's what happened to UCF last week. Now it's Kansas, who's 3-2.
Kansas's 3 wins are Fresno State, Wagner, and West Virginia. They blew out West Virginia 41-10. And their losses are a close one at Missouri, 42-31, and then a 3-point loss against Cincinnati. So they're a little hard to figure out. I mean, but that could be a good ball game. Probably should be a good ball game. And again, you talk about a good old-fashioned your own neck of the woods conference rivalry in the Atlantic Coast Conference. We get Duke at Cal Berkeley. Enjoy that flight. Home. Think about this. They don't kick that thing off Saturday night until 9:30 p.m. Central. All right, so soak in the time zones there. That's 9:30 Central Time on the acronym, the worldwide acronym. That means at home in North Carolina for Duke, it'll be 10:30 p.m. when the game kicks off. On the West Coast, which will be a 7:30 kick at home for Cal. Play the game when it's 10:30 back home. I mean, Duke, what time do they get home? After the game, win or lose, fly back home to Durham, North Carolina. What they'll get home at what, 10 a.m. the next day? Stupid. Conference game. My foot. That whole thing is that's stupid, is what that is. Got a conference game and putting it on the schedule is dumb. You know, so some of this stuff is better. You know, a 12-team playoff is better. Some of this stuff is better. That stuff right there, Duke playing a conference game at Cal and what's going to kick off a night game at 10:30 at home for Duke, that is as dumb as it gets. And again, it's a great example that well-meaning, well-paid, educated adults sometimes make some of the dumbest decisions they could possibly make. On the Country Pleasing text line, Ronnie says Diego's going to be in that new movie, The Senior 2. What is that? Is there a Senior 1? I didn't know. Dog Tired in Florence says, Matt, why is Texas A&M getting the grandiose praise? They won that game on a 4th down miracle acrobatic catch, talking about Notre Dame. And then they kick a mundane extra point because Notre Dame had inexplicable extra point earlier in the game. All things being equal, that game should have been in overtime at the worst. Yeah, that's right, they did miss it. I mean, it was close. You get credit for winning it. I just think what it is, Dog Tires, we still don't, it's so early, we still don't really know a lot about everybody. That's just kind of how it feels to me. This came out today, here on this Thursday. It's, I guess you could file it under the for what it's worth category. I did find one part of this interesting. It is pay the players related. It's pay for play related. Per sources, the NCAA's D1 Board of Directors adopted a couple of new NIL rule changes today. Pay attention to this one. Number one, schools can no longer guarantee a player any money from a third-party NIL deal, verbally or in writing. Either way, the school can't guarantee it from a third party, verbally or in writing. And number two, all collective or booster deals have to include a specific, here we go, direct activation. So what does that mean? All right, first up, some schools were signing these deals, even, again, signature deals, with athletes. Come play. This is what this NIL thing looks like. It was promising to cover the full cost of an NIL deal if a collective or a third party wasn't able to pay up. So this is the quarterback Rashada thing from Florida thing that caused this. Some schools were doing this. Some schools were out here signing NIL pay-for-play deals. You come play for us, okay? You're getting such and such quote-unquote NIL deal from our collective or from this booster over here. But if that falls through, we, the school, will cover it so that you're made whole on what you believe you're getting. They were actually signing these things. Some of it was verbal. This thing says for schools that sign those type of deals prior to July the 1st, that money is now going to count against your spending cap, which every school has got to show the paperwork on. So the second thing where collectives have to have an action for you to actually get, the money, they had this term out here in the pay-for-play world called warehousing. So a collective, third-party, booster, collective, whatever, they're paying this players for the players' NIL rights. We're paying you, let's just say, $500,000 as the collective for, Texas. And now we have your NIL rights and you play for Texas. Okay, here's the money. And the promise was, hey, at some point we'll get you to do something. We don't know what it is yet. I don't know if we're going to get you to come sign autographs or show up, meet and greet. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Just take the money. We promise we'll do something. Now, the body that is approving the NIL deals is saying that won't work anymore. You now have to, you're going to give them the money, you're going to sign the deal, the collective booster is paying it. It has to include a direct activation, meaning on November the 14th at 3 p.m., we have this event where we're signing autographs and we're doing meet and greet, and then on this day, and then on this day, and then on this day, and then on this day. It's like that's got to be all in the deal from the get-go, as opposed to open-ended, well, we're paying you for your rights, but we're not really sure how we're going to use them just yet. You see what I mean? And they're thinking, okay, at least this way, it makes it harder for it to be just blatant, straight-up pay-for-play without any sort of start date for your NIL rights, if that makes sense. You can read up on that if you want to, but all that stuff came out today. What does it mean? I don't know. I know what that music means. It means that I'm done. That's it. Next time I talk to y'all here on this show, we will know Aggies or Bulldogs. And there'll be a whole lot of miles on the vehicle between now and then. But I look forward to that. So y'all enjoy a long weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. For Beaver, I'm Matt, all of us here on the show. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. I'll see you Monday.